Well, hello from Prim and Proper Designs. Today we're going to make this little primitive angel. I just keep coming up with ideas, and I think that this one's a little cutie. I think it'll go nice on my Christmas tree. It's made with coffee filters and raffia and some wire, rusty wire. And I'm going to give you the link of another angel that I found that was done out of coffee filters on YouTube, and that's how I got the inspiration to make a primitive one of that liking. So it just was a lot of fun. First, I want to show you some of the finished products. I told you if I had any finished crafts that I would show you the next time I did a video. So let's go ahead and look and see what I got done here. Okay, so I finished all of my homespun candy canes, my big ones. As I said, they were going to go for $7 each. Let me get it off macro here for a minute. And so this is all the homespun candy canes, the big giant ones that I have that are done. And now I have to go back to macro so I can show you my little snowman necklaces, which I think is so cute. Where's that macro button? Okay, there it is. So here they are. Now I got the necklaces in from China. And here's one here. You can see it's got nice lobster clasp at the end and the chain, and it's black, 2mm, and a little snowman thing. I think these are just so adorable. I made about 100 of them, so they're all there. I also have finished some of the larger keychains of the pullet eggs I told you I was going to do. I finished a couple of those, so I can show you those. And I think the information for these are on another video that I did when I was just making the snowman, so you'd have to look up that. But basically it's a miniature version of my jumbos, and it's a larger screw eye and a larger split ring, which is like a keychain ring at the top without the hanging chain like I have for the smaller ones. Another thing that I have completed is my baby Jesus pins, and I didn't get to show you how these were done, but basically it was a tiny bead, I'd say about a 1/2 inch size bead that was already painted a face on at the craft store that I found. And what I did was I just bought some muslin, I had some natural looking twine, and chenille stems. And you take about, I don't know, a 3-inch chenille stem and fold it in half, put the ends up through the bead and fold over the top to make that little hair. And then you just wrap a piece of muslin around it. I did maybe a 3-inch by 3-inch square. You wrap the muslin around it like it's a swaddling, little baby swaddling. And wrapped some of that natural twine around it. And basically, that's it. Then you take one of the bar pins, bar pin backs, which you can find on eBay as well. I ordered these also from China. They came in the same time as the necklaces, so I was able to finish up all these pins here. These are only 50 cents each. Of course, I'm in the middle of making some other kind of angels too, and that's what happened. See, I was online looking for how to make the yo-yo angels and what different people are doing with the yo-yo angel, and I came across someone that was making angels out of coffee filters. So I decided, hey, I got coffee filters, I've got raffia, I've got wire, I've got some jute of all sizes and the natural twine, and I printed out on my printer this little thing of music sheet here so I can cut out little books for them to read. And I said, let me give it a try. And this is the first one I made. I made it in about less than 10 minutes. And, as a matter of fact, you can even see it's the first one I made because I ripped it a little bit when I was, you got to be careful about that, when I was trying to open up the skirt area there for it. So I'm going to show you how to make this. This isn't one of those 2-minute videos that some people make. As you know, I never make 2-minute videos. My videos are long because I talk a lot. So let's see if we can set me up here so that you can see what I'm doing while I'm doing it. Let's see. I haven't even figured out a setup plan here. And I also bought this little mirror so maybe I can see what you're actually seeing when I do set you up. So let me see if I can do that here. Okay, we got the little angel in too. All right. So let me see. Now I can see what you're seeing while I'm videoing. So here's the natural jute that I told you about. And, right away what we can do is make a tie. This tie here that goes in back of the angel. That is what hangs it from the tree. Let's just go ahead and make that ahead of time. So, I don't know. You know, figure how big you want your tie to be. Like I said, I have no patience to measure and all this other stuff. So, you know, that looks good to me. So let's just clip it. Put this aside. And we'll make a little knot at the end of that, because later on that's going to be glued on to our little angel, so it can hang on a tree. So now we've got the twist tie already made. Alright, so what you're going to need is a hot glue gun. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a pair of wire cutters. I got these at Walmart for $4. I'm sure you probably can find them cheaper than that. You're going to need a pair of needle nose pliers. I just happen to have these in my tools, my normal home toolbox, but I'm sure you can find these cheaper somewhere as well. Sometimes Walmart has bins of tools where they're just $1 or $1.50. Look for them there. And then you're going to need some coffee filters. And what I did with these is, and I don't know if I can recommend this to people or not, but what I did here is I dipped it in a cup of coffee. Alright, and then I opened them up wet and stacked a bunch of them like this, all wet. And even this paper, I took a sponge and dabbed this paper with coffee to give it a distressed look. And then what I did was I put it in the dryer and let them dry in the dryer. But, you know, I don't recommend you doing that, because, you know, if you left them on too long, they could possibly catch fire in there. You can just wait for them to dry overnight, or if you're really careful, like I stayed right by my dryer and waited, I don't know, less than about 5 minutes and they were already dry. But you've got to be right on top of it if you're going to do that, and you have no patience like me. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2 coffee filters, and we're going to fold them in half, put them together first of all, and then we're going to fold them in half like so. Then we're going to fold it again so that it's quartered, and this way so we know where the center is, and then you can open it back up. Now how did we make that little head? Well, everybody's got toilet paper in the house, right? And I got some of this, like I said, the inspiration from another angel that I saw. It was listed as coffee filter angels. I'm going to give you the link for that woman so you can see how she made her angels, but basically you're just going to roll this up into a ball. And you're going to put it in the center there. And then bring up your coffee filter all around it. Where are we at? We're at 8 minutes. Okay. Then you're going to take a piece of wire, and I don't know, I didn't measure out my wire, but let's say we're going to make it, I don't know, about 8 or 9 inches long, and you'll see why. Cut a piece off like that. And, you know, we're going to wrap it around the neck a couple of times, just once really. Then meet it in the middle, twist it, and you know what, you don't have to use wire, you can use raffia, and then use something else if you want for the halo, whatever. I just, you know, wanted to make mine more primitive, so that's what I did. Then I took a paintbrush, a thin one, alright, and you hold it this way, where the paintbrush part is up, and the paint is down, the paint end is down, and I just wrapped that wire around the paintbrush till it got to the end, and it got a little hard at the end to push that part down, so I just used my screwdriver and tightened it there. Tightened it against the thing. And then pull it out so you have like a little squiggly, okay? We're at 9 minutes, so this is going to go into a part 2, so we're going to finish up our angel on part 2. There she is. We're going to get to her at part 2.